Hey golfers, today we are going to look at the top 5 exercises for senior golfers. One of the most common complaints we get from golfers that are over the age of 55 in their 60s, 65 is that I just can't turn anymore. I've lost my flexibility. I've lost distance. You need to be able to rotate. It's as simple as that. Golf is a rotary sport. So I'm going to walk you through top 5 exercises for senior golfers. It's going to help you rotate better. You can do this before you play. You can do it after you play. You cannot do these exercises too much. So what we're going to do is get on the floor first. That's going to give us our most stability. And you can have a pillow if you need it. We're going to do what's called a book opener. And you've probably heard of this exercise before, but I'm going to show you a couple cool little tricks you can do to make it more effective. Lay on your side. Okay, again, you can have a pillow to support your head. That's totally fine. You can bend your knees up so that your thighs are hip height. Take your bottom arm and hand, and you can put that fist right between your knees. Pro tip here. So this fist is here to keep my knees together, which is going to keep my pelvis and lower back stable. Okay. If I start doing this when I rotate, my lower back is moving. We don't want to do that. We want to move from your thoracic spine, which is between your collarbones and your belly button. That's the part of your spine that needs to rotate. This is what's going to help you turn into your backswing and into your follow through. So we take the hand on the forehead like you're shielding your eyes from the sun. Big breath in. And I'm going to look over my shoulder. Breathe out. Keeping my knees pressing into my fist. So just pause when your body stops. Maybe take another breath in, then breathe out. Your shoulder blade should get closer to the floor. Then go back to the start and repeat. Okay, so again, just rotate till your body stops. Again, if you feel that knee come off your fist, you've gone too far. Squeeze the fist between your knees. Breathe in. On the exhale, my shoulder blade gets closer to the floor. Breathe in. And each breath, you want to feel like you're getting a little bit closer to the floor with that shoulder blade. You can do anywhere from 6 to 10 of these book openers on each side. But again, make sure that you're keeping the lower body stable. And we're not just reaching the arm. I'm turning my whole chest and trunk. When I breathe, I'm really expanding the rib cage. And you can see as I exhale, I make a little bit of progress there. That's exercise number 1, your book opener. Do 6 to 10 reps on each side. Next exercise, you can stay on your back from here. We're going to get the hips rotating. Really common area we need to work on rotation is your hip socket. Okay. From here, I'm going to lay down this foot flat. I'm going to take this foot and get it outside shoulder width and pull that toe up. So from here, I'm digging this heel into the floor. And I'm going to internally rotate this hip socket. So I'm going to rotate in. You can see that from the angle of my shin, we want to get this hip rotating at least 40, 45 degrees. You might be stuck here. That's okay. I want you to just try and work at dropping that thigh in a little bit. You should feel a little stretch in the hip, and then open it up as wide as you can. And then without your foot sneaking in, your foot should stay wide. You're going to roll that in. I'm going to show you one more thing here when we're doing this hip rotation. I hold the end range, try and get a little more progress inwards. And the big key here, again, is when I'm doing this rotation, I am not going to let my butt cheek lift off the floor. This is a common mistake most people make. When I do this, I'm rotating my lower back and pelvis. That's a death move in golf. We don't want to rotate from the lower back. I want you to rotate from the hip socket. And I'm keeping my, cannot get my hand under my butt cheek there, and I'm rotating the hip. So if you stop here, that's fine. Do not lift the butt cheek up to try and go further. That is a big time cheat and a no-no. We don't want to do that. So you're going to do about, again, 8 to 10 of these each side, trying to get that end range a little further with each rep. Again, pelvis stays nice and stable, and the butt cheek stays on the floor. Those are your hip internal rotations while you're laying on your back, 8 to 10 on each side. Now we can move up to a standing position. Shoulders are really important in golf. We need external shoulder rotation, okay? Easy way to tell if you're able to do this or not is get in your golf posture, put your elbow straight out to the side, and without arching your back or standing up, see if you can get your forearm perpendicular to the floor while you're in golf posture. If you're stuck here, your shoulder mobility is no good. You want to look at how to test the rest of your body, your hips, your trunk, your shoulders, and your neck. Those are our 4 rotary centers. Click on the link in the description. That'll give you access to our free home assessment where you can measure yourself and see where you need to improve. That way you can assess and target your mobility exercises. We're going to move into the shoulder mobility here, external rotation. This is going to help you shallow the club, okay, and move into the golf ball and reduce that slice or that over-the-top movement. You need the physical ability to do this with your shoulder. Have a corner of a wall or a door frame here to set up. Okay, this is going to be our functional range conditioning, our external rotation for the shoulder. It's going to help you shallow that golf club out and reduce that slice. From here, stand up nice and tall, get your elbow right at armpit height, and your chest should be about even with the edge of the wall or the door frame. From here, I'm standing nice and tall without arching the lower back. I'm keeping my lower back nice and neutral. I'm going to roll my elbow into the wall and pull my forearm off the wall. Now, if you've got tight shoulders, you might only get this far. You might be struggling to get off the wall. Another thing you'll notice is you might try and flick your hand or wrist back to try and get that movement. That's a sure sign your shoulder mobility is limited. I always say turn the palm in and you either make a fist or keep your palm facing you, and just think about rotating your bicep back behind you. That's what's going to bring your wrist and forearm off the wall. So I'm going to get to that end range. I'm going to hold the end range and feel a squeeze in this muscle behind my shoulder blade right here. Once you feel it, hold it for a second or two and then come back to the wall. Try and go a little bit further, hold that end range, and then come forward. Again, you're going to do about 8 to 10 of these each side, holding that end range. See if you can get a little bit further, another degree or two with each repetition, and we're increasing that range in both shoulders. For right-handed golfers, the trail shoulder or right shoulder is more important. For lefties, it's the left shoulder. But make sure you go through that on both sides, 8 to 10 reps. Next up, we're going to grab our chair and we're going to work on our twist and tilt. Again, that trunk rotation is so important to be able to rotate through the golf ball. Okay, so from here, really important, sitting up tall, hands across the chest, and I'm going to bring the knees together. If you're having trouble keeping the knees together, you can grab a pad, okay, or a foam roller or a pillow, towel, hold it between the knees. Lower body stays stable. Hands on the chest. All I'm going to do is keep tall and rotate to the side until my body stops. I stay there. Take a breath in. On the exhale, I'm going to side bend. So that's not crunching this way. Side bend is simply this movement, not rounding the trunk. It's side bending. So I'm going to rotate first, then to the left, then I side bend to the left. Breathe out. Then I come back up to vertical, and like magic, I can turn a little bit more. Rotate, side bend, back up to vertical, and I can turn more. This is our twist and tilt. So we've got a twist, and the tilt is the side bend. I feel a stretch through this side, back up to vertical, and I'm going to be able to breathe, side bend, about 5 or 6 times until you feel like your body is going to stop rotating. But we've accessed a lot of range of motion from the first repetition to the last one. You do that on both sides. Twist and tilt about 5 to 6 repetitions on each side. Last exercise we're going to do are going to be, again, our internal hip rotation. So the first one we did laying down, that was a little bit easier. Now we're going to actually activate this hip internal rotation. This movement is so critical for golfers. It's going to allow you to turn into your trail hip and load into your trail hip and weight shift, and then weight shift onto your lead side and get some ground force and rotation towards the target in that lead hip. It's also going to help take stress off the lower back, because a lack of rotation in your hips, what happens after that is your lower back starts to compensate in your golf swing in ways that it should not. So here's how we're going to activate that internal hip rotation. 2 fists in between the knees. I'm sitting up tall. All I'm going to do is internally rotate. I'm going to try and take this knee, roll it into my fist, and see if I can get that foot moving out. Now, immediately you might feel a little bit of a cramp in that hip crease. That's not a bad thing. It just means that that muscle is not used to being exercised. So we got to work those internal rotators. So just move a little bit, just so you can get a little bit of movement, and then get a little bit more and hold it. Okay. Again, should feel that little TFL muscle really working there, and open it up, trying to get a little bit further each time. So we're actively using that TFL muscle to internally rotate the hip. You're going to do 8 to 10 reps, holding the end range for a few seconds, and make sure you do it on each side. Again, hold that end range for at least a second or two before you bring it back to the middle. Okay? So those are our top 5 exercises for senior golfers. We got the hips, trunk, and shoulders. Those are our 3 most common trouble spots. All right? Hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you did, give us a like, subscribe, even add a comment. If you like this material, that really helps us know so we can tailor our content to you. I'll see you guys in the next video.